Hello, folks. Welcome to Holding On with Holder, where I talk to interesting people about interesting topics. My name is Steve Holder, and I am your host. My guest this evening is Ash Kembai, mindset coach, mentor, and fitness trainer. Welcome, Ash. Glad to have you with me.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you inviting me on for sure.
Glad to have you on. Tell us a little bit about your background. Who are you?
So, as for me, I specialize in health and fitness, in particular, when it comes to boxing, martial arts, things of that nature. So, boxing, jujitsu, kickboxing, anything in that area. So, and I've been doing that for 6+ years. Been practicing it for 9+ years. So, I had a fight. I think maybe like a year or two ago. That's the last time I fought. So I am still interested in being an active fighter. I'm also a mentor slash mindset coach. So with both of those things, especially with my clients, I teach fitness and boxing and martial arts, self-defense to help bring confidence and whatever the situation is, weight loss, etc. But I also include the mindset coaching as well, which is the biggest part of fitness of any part of anyone's life, is the mindset, is mentorship of some sort, to some degree. So that is something that I definitely do and specialize in. And that's pretty much my background, just wrapped up pretty quickly in a whole. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what exactly is a mindset coach? Can you elaborate on that?
Absolutely. So oftentimes we get stuck at certain points in our lives when it comes to how to handle things mentally. So oftentimes most people look for physical solutions before anything else. And that being the surface, the physical part of looking for things is the surface portion of it. But it's really if you delve deeper in, it's really the mindset. It's really the mind, the subconscious, the unconscious mind, your conscious mind. And I feel like even with emotions, the mental aspect, even with spirituality, you have to. It does involve your mind to some degree. People call the mind the heart. There are different names for the mind. There's different terminology for the mind, but at the end of the day, that's what it is. It boils down to is where your mind is. So with a mindset coach, at least for me, in my perspective, a mindset coach is somebody who's able to figure out what's really going on behind the scenes, not just what your physical problem is or what your surface problem is, but what's causing that problem, the root of it. Of course, they call, everybody has different names for things, psychologists, psychiatrists, etc. But a mindset coach is someone who has a lot of that knowledge, as well as knowledge on spirituality or mentality or emotional knowledge as well, that can help someone who is stuck, or who needs a boost, or somebody who needs something or tries to figure something out but don't really know how to approach it or really like get to the bottom of it to really solve it, or try to or have an active solution for it. So that's mostly what a mindset coach is and does. That's the basis of a mindset coach for sure, in my opinion.
So did somebody teach you this, or did you used to be a client of a mindset coach?
Actually, I have a master, well, at least had. He passed away. His name is David Clark of Omni Combat Fitness Gym, and I was under his tutelage for at least 4 years. And it started out physical. He just started teaching me boxing, teaching me, the proper way to do martial arts. And it went from that to me having questions and me trying to understand certain concepts and things. And so he was the one who really like got the ball, got me on this snowball effect with my journey as it is. And which I'm very grateful for. So it really it started out with questions long ago. But once I got with him, that's when I started finding answers and started having epiphanies and such. So which I'm very grateful for.
Yeah.
Forever grateful.
Now, you are a spiritual person, correct?
Yes, indeed.
And I believe I saw in a recent interview you did that you used to be a Christian.
Yes, absolutely. I used to. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I still am.
Yeah, well, it's good. I'll tell you that much. That's what I started with. Okay. I'm not gonna kid you. That's what I started with. And the great thing about it is that you learn spirituality. You know, in any religion that you end up in, you do learn some aspects of spirituality. And with Christianity, I learned so much. It was a great religion for me to start with. And I was very grateful and still am very grateful to learn the principles, the morals, the values behind Christianity. It was just for me, as I continued my journey, I had more questions and I wanted to see what other things were about. And so I just started a journey of, okay, let's look into this. Let's look into that. What does this mean? Why do people believe this? Why do people believe that? And you know, what are the well, I would say some of the things that were contradictive. Like, what are the answers to some of these things that contradict themselves? Whether it's in the Quran, the Torah, whether it's in the Bible, it doesn't really matter. I was curious about those things also, and looking for answers. I'm still looking for answers. I'm constantly looking for more answers because I like knowing things or knowing about things or studying things. But I definitely started with Christianity. Definitely learned everything I could possibly know about it. And there's always more that you can learn. So every now and then I'll refer to certain things, or I'll read through certain things. So it isn't like I've let go of the religion entirely. It's just certain aspects of the religion I no longer practice. Right.
So you're not anti-Christian.
No, absolutely not.
Good.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable with your current physical or spiritual path?
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
Are you comfortable with your present spiritual path?
Yes, I am. I am. And honestly, it's a never ending path. You know, honestly, it's like the Jacob's ladder. You know, you still, there's heights, there are newer heights to get to. There's so much to learn. There's so much more to discover. Although there's really nothing new under the sun, as it's been said, but there's always something new for me. You know, and there's always a new concept that I can grasp or that I can, you know, go after and you know, try to figure out what it means for me, not necessarily for the world, because everybody's viewpoint is different, perspectives are different, situations are different, you know. So, but I try to look for what's good for me or what makes sense to me. You get what I mean?
So are you a guru?
Not even close. I will cuss somebody out so fast. Listen. What? Listen, I am definitely not a guru. Most definitely not. And I will never portray myself to be one. Because they, you know, they're seen in this certain light, and that's not my light. You know, that's not my light. And that's not my walk. That's not how I'm supposed to present myself at this time. Now, I'm not opposed to it possibly becoming that. I'm not opposed to it at all because I'm still growing, you know, but right now, where I am right now, that's not what it is at all. You know, I'm very peaceful, but I can, you know what I mean? I know when to put the hammer down too, when it's time to, you know, yeah. So it's something that my master had told me. He said, you have to find a balance. You know, you can be all walk in peace, you know, but there's going to be stuff that will disturb your peace, and you got to know how to move.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
life has a way of doing that.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. Like, you know, sometimes you have to put your foot down. Sometimes you have to be the mean guy a little bit, because if you're always the nice guy, you know, nice guys finish last is what they said, right? Well, you know, I won't always finish last. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you still pray and meditate, I assume?
I do, absolutely. I do meditate. There are different forms of meditation. I do pray also. And I feel like it's good. It's healthy. Very healthy to do.
Yeah. Do you embrace any religion now?
None in particular, no. I take bits and pieces and I use those bits and pieces and apply them where they go. So and certain principles are also certain principles, values, morals. I read over it or I'll study it for a while, and then I'll say, okay, well, which parts work for me and which parts don't with where I am right now.
Yeah.
I feel like being tied to a religion as of now is no good for me because there's so many restrictions, and so many, okay, you have to do this and you have to do that with it per se. And that's not where I am anymore. I used to be there, but that's not where I am anymore. So I only apply what works.
Yeah. Now, does all this fit in your spiritual path? Does it all fit in nicely with your teaching martial arts and boxing?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It does. Yeah, it makes a huge difference, at least for me. So for example, let's say I have a client, right? Let's say I have a client and they say, well, I want to lose weight. I say, well, all right, let's lose the weight. And we start with the physical part of it. We start eating right and exercising and all this other stuff, applying different things and such. But after a while, they start to realize on their own, they have their own epiphany. Like, man, why is my coach always so positive? You know what I'm saying? Or every time they see me, I have a smile on my face or I'm radiating positive energy in spite of what I go through, because I have my own things that I go through and deal with also. And so they start questioning me on their own more so. I just move in a way to where they'll want to question, like, man, what else are you doing? There's got to be something else you're doing. Or, man, I'm having a hard time kind of keeping up with your energy. So how do I match that? So I've had that type of thing happen before, and I'm just using it as an example.
Yeah.
And then we start delving into the spirituality, little by little. There's no conversion of any sort. There's no taking them outside of what they believe. I can deal with a Muslim. I can deal with anybody of any religion. I respect what you believe.
Yeah.
But I just want to add this little tidbit to help you along a little bit more in whatever you have going on. You get what I mean? So it's not, I don't need to convert you. I'm not interested in that, but I do want to help you. And this has helped me. So I'll introduce it. And if they take to it, they take to it. And if not, that's fine too. There's no problem with that. Right. And I still work with whatever their religion is. So I make sure I study up on what it is that they believe. So that way I can use some of the material they already are familiar with and still apply the same, you get what I mean? The same stuff.
Oh, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one. Now, do you teach martial arts and boxing for a living, or is that just kind of a side thing you do?
Well, as of now, I do teach it for a living. It is part of what I do. I mean, I've done a couple of different things in entrepreneurship as far as work and making money. So from detailing to, teaching classes in gyms and things of that nature. And so now I travel and I teach boxing. Mostly it's majority boxing or just boxing or boxing and fitness. So, and that's how I make a living as of now. I am transitioning in my entrepreneurship, so I'm doing more podcast interviews and doing more things where I actually talk. I'm using more so my voice and my mind and connecting with people that way, as opposed to, doing the whole physical and then, the whole physical thing with the boxing and the fitness. But yeah, absolutely. But I'm definitely transitioning into my entrepreneurship for sure. Definitely.
And you want to get back into competing?
Yes, I am so ready, which is not even funny. And I am not in shape to compete right now, but I am so ready. So I am looking forward to competing again. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not saying that's what's really going to happen because, as you move on your journey, you realize other things are a little bit more important than other things. Yeah. So, it is something that I truly enjoy and I would love to get back into. So I'm just kind of keeping that open, definitely keeping that option open and seeing how things fare out with my schedule and so on and so forth. But I do look forward to it for sure. Yeah.
So how can you teach physical fitness if you say you're not in physically good shape?
Oh man, so I did say that I'm not in fighting shape.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's different shapes to be in. So you got bodybuilders that are in shape. They can lift some weights, but cardio, not quite their thing. You know, you have boxers, they're in shape for boxing, but not in shape for running necessarily. You know, I mean, they can't run a whole marathon because they're not in that type of shape. So I am in shape, yes, but I'm not in fighting shape like I would like to be.
Okay.
You know, but yeah, I'm definitely in shape. I can keep up. That's no problem. That's definitely no
Yeah.
problem. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned something about being stuck a moment ago. So what
Mhm.
advice do you give to people who really feel like they're stuck in their life and they're not making any progress, not doing anything worthwhile?
Mhm.
What do you tell
Uh,
them?
I feel like one of the first things to do if you're feeling stuck, is what you believe makes a huge difference in how you view things. What you believe. So if you practice something, it becomes a habit. And that habit, the more it becomes a habit, it starts to become a belief. That's literally how it tends to go. You know, I didn't, with Christianity, for example, I didn't know it when I was a baby. You know, I had to constantly hear it, be around it, practice it, you know, practice praying, even though I didn't know how to pray. I just repeat whatever I heard. And then over time, it became a habit. And then I believed. So that's it's literally a 1, 2, 3. Step one, step two, step three. So if you're feeling stuck, you got to figure out what's causing that first. You know, like, why am I stuck? Why do I feel worthless? Why do I feel lonely? Why do I feel like I don't have this? Well, if I feel lonely, well, is it because I don't have a companion? Is it because I don't feel like I have family that has my back? Is it because I don't have enough friends? You gotta figure that stuff out. You really have to first sit down, look at yourself in the mirror, and figure out what's going on with you, because nobody knows you better than you know you. No doctor, no lawyer, nobody knows you better than you. And that divinity is within also, so it knows you also, whether you call it God, the source, whatever name you want to give it. It knows you, so you know you. And you have to sit with yourself to figure out what's going on with you. Once you do that, and write it down. If you got to write it down. You know, write a letter to yourself. You know, do shadow work or whatever it is that you believe. Do that. Once you do that, then you can start practicing what you really want, practicing something new. And the more you practice it, it will become a habit. And once that habit sets in, and especially if it's a good habit, you will believe. There is no question about it. You don't have to try to believe right out of the gate or quit cold turkey if you don't feel like that's going to work for you. Do it gradually. Do it one step at a time. You have to constantly make the choice to be different or have something different. You know, people say, well, I'm just going to quit smoking cold turkey. And some people, that's success. They're successful. I'm going to stop smoking cold turkey. I will never look at a cigarette again, but still fiending and scratching. Sitting in church scratching. I gotta go. You know, but the thing is that you have to consistently make the choice not to do it. Then that's just an example. Or make the choice to actually start your business. You have to always choose. Every day you wake up, you got to choose to make that. That's how you create a habit.
Yeah.
You know, right? So
Motivation is good to get you going, but you need some perseverance to go with it, right?
you absolutely right.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. Most definitely. Most definitely.
So what are you working on now specifically? What is your goal that you're working toward right now?
Well, my goal right now is to do more podcast interviews, of course. Do more speaking engagements, because I'm more so interested in that. That's really the transition in my entrepreneurship, kind of get away from what I've been doing and get into something else, something new, something fresh, something that's more along the lines of where I am right now.
Yeah.
So I'm working on that. That's an everyday thing. I'm constantly working on that. I'm constantly choosing to do it. As hard as it is to be discouraged, I try to make it easy for me to be encouraged. And the way that I do that is choosing to. Every time I see a post about something, I'm gonna go, let me go and write this person and see if they need a guest, or let me go and ask this person about this or that, or let me try to collab with somebody to get this or get that. I'm constantly choosing, this transition in my entrepreneurship, as far as speaking engagements and such. So that's what I have in store for me. I already know things are working out well. I just have to keep doing what I'm doing and not worry about what Sally's doing. So that's what I'm busy doing. I'm working on me. Sally's next to me. She looks good, but I'm not interested in what she's got going on because she's not where I'm going. She ain't going where I'm going, And if she is, it won't be the same place.
Yeah.
It won't be the exact same. It'll be similar, not the same.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm working on for sure. Most definitely.
How big of a problem has fear of failure been in your life?
Woo, well, I'll tell you one thing. Huge. It used to be huge. And I'm one of those types that when something bad happens, I still try to look for the good, but that doesn't mean I don't feel the bad, right? Because I still have to deal with that head on. So with failure, at first, when I first stepped into entrepreneurship, failure was constant. It was so constant to where I got used to it. I'm just like, listen, if it don't work, I'm just try something else. Because at some point in time, you realize like, man, I'm failing, but I'm still going somewhere. I'm just not quite sure where specifically. And some things are working. So I hold on to the things that are working and then I try again. At first, like I said, at first in my entrepreneurship, it was a huge thing. It's like, man, every time I turn around, this isn't working out, that isn't working out. And so I decided, I kept failing. I was learning, but I kept failing too. So I was like, man, you know what? Let me just change my mind on this stuff because I can't do anything physically. Rent is due and I don't have enough clients. So let me just switch my mindset because rent is due in 3 days and I need the rent money and I don't have it. So let me just change my attitude about it. Let's see if an idea will come. So I would meditate, pray, etc. And then boom, something will happen and things will move exactly how they should.
Yeah.
And it was times where I didn't actually make the rent and I had to, let the place go.
Done that one.
Right. I prayed that prayer, Lord, please let me make the rent.
Yeah.
And the rent wasn't made and I was out of gas. I was out of gas for the rent, but it gave me gas. I had gas for something else, something better. So so I had to do a huge attitude adjustment, and it was the same thing I was telling you. I had to choose to have a better attitude about it in order to really, make an effective change. So, but it's failure is a learning process, and for me, you win and you learn. You don't lose. You just win and you learn. That's it. That's all it is, and that's the most positive you can make it. Is win and learning. Winning and learning. That's it. That's it. So I've won and I've learned for sure.
Yeah. I've interviewed a lot of different coaches on this show, and they all have one thing in common. They have had to overcome a lot of things in their life to get to be where they are.
Right.
It's a common thread. They go through hell in order to find a little bit of heaven.
Right. Absolutely.
I can relate to that. That's why I love to talk to people that have gone through that and got past it and are able to give some hope to other people. And that's what you're all about, giving hope to people, right?
Absolutely. Helping as best as I can because you can't do it all on your own. You're gonna need help. That's just what it is. And so if there's a story or something that I can say, even a word, even a smile, something that I can do or say that can help someone else, whether it's through that 5 minutes I met them, whether it's for the rest of the day, whether it's for the rest of their life, I'm just happy that I was a part of making change for that person, for the better, so that's what satisfies me as far as that, other than money, because, I love to make money too. I'm not even gonna lie about that. Money makes me happy too. But the crux of it for me is being able to help, because so many people need help, and so many people see so much negativity to where they don't feel like there is any help, or there is no one there, or there is no hope either. But there is. We're out here. We're out here. So most definitely.
Uh-oh. Uh, is that one of your kids?
Man, these kids here, I kid you not. When I say my pressure is already up to the sky high, but I love them dearly. I really do.
Yeah.
I really do.
So how many kids do you have?
Well, there are four in total. They aren't my biological kids, but that's okay too. You know, that's my family. And I never refer to them as, oh, they're my girlfriend's kids, or oh, you know, X, Y, and Z. I always make it to where we are a family. Like they are my kids also. So biology means nothing if you aren't
Yeah.
there. You know, it
Exactly.
really doesn't. We
Sometimes the
know
best
that.
family is the people we choose.
Absolutely.
People who
Absolutely.
want to be in our lives and are important.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can definitely agree for sure.
So are you a political person? Do you get involved in politics and keep up with current events and all that?
Oh, oh, not even, not really, not really. And the reason why is because, you know, it's just not really my thing, you know, when it comes to politics. Don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean I don't read up on things or know, you know, which party is doing this and, you know, what's happening, what grants are out or whatever is happening with politicians, you know, just in general. I do my research. I do read up on things. I do pay attention to what's going on. I just try not to give it too much energy because
Yeah.
that's a process where there are a lot of people that are already dealing with that and not happy or happy. You know, it depends on how you're viewing it and what's being done for you or what you feel like you can benefit from.
Yeah.
Me, I don't like to put power in other people's hands. I really don't. I'd rather keep that power and keep it in my own hands and do with it what I will. Right. So, and that's one of those things where, you know, it's a lot of people, everybody is affected to some degree. Some are happy, some aren't. And it's a lot of power in other people's hands. And I just don't really like to give it my energy more so. I think that's more so what it is for me, you know, but I'm always watching. I'm always listening. I'm paying attention. I know what's going on. Yeah. So
So are you okay with talking about some social injustice?
absolutely.
Okay. Do you think we have a big racial problem in America?
Mm, that is a really good question. And we do. Absolutely. We do. We do. It's easier to see the bad if that's all you see.
Yeah.
It's harder to see the good. So of course we have an issue, social injustice issue going on. Of course, because that's all we see is the injustice issue. You know, we don't see where the answers are, where the solutions are enough, because they are out there. It's just that we don't see them enough. So there's always going to be an issue.
Yeah.
You know, there's always going to be blind eyes to situations, and especially racial situations, racial injustices that are going on. You know, it's so much easier to see what's wrong rather than come up with a viable solution
Yeah.
that can benefit everybody, because all you see is the wrong. You can't see the right. Somebody goes to jail
And the
right
media
now.
make sure that that's what we see.
Right. Listen, and they do their job.
Yeah.
They do their job. So you can't really even really fully be angry with them, you know, for doing what they're paid to do. That's what they're paid to do, is to create uproars and give all of this energy out, you know. And the thing about that is that if you let it suck you in, you will be sucked in.
Yeah.
If you give it your energy, that's exactly where your energy is going to be. You're going to always be frustrated, depressed, upset about what's going on in the world, you know, as opposed to creating change or making a game plan and actually like moving forward to it. Because I think also that there are a lot of people waiting for Malcolm X or waiting for like some big leader to come and do this movement. But why aren't you the one? Why can't you do it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you really feel this way, why can't you do it? Do you not have the support? Do you not feel like you have enough of whatever you feel like you need to that's needed to make that happen? Like, what's the holdup for you if
Yeah.
you really feel that way? Why do you have to wait for somebody else to rally behind someone else? Why can't you affect change in your area, in your community, where you are now? What's going on? What's the holdup?
I think a lot of people are scared to step out because they don't want to be a target.
Absolutely.
I ran for U.S. Congress last year, and I found out real quick that when you really put yourself out there and say what you believe and what you believe in, you will be a target.
Oh, absolutely.
No doubt.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, excuse me. Is systemic racism a real thing?
Absolutely. It is. It is. It is a thing for sure. In my opinion, it is. And when a system is in place, you can play the game, but at the end of the day, you're not the one who's controlling the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're playing the game. You're not the one who created the game. You don't know the little doors that you can go through to do this and do that. Of course there is systemic racism, but does it have to be as prevalent as it is? No, it doesn't. Is there something that can be done about it? Absolutely. There's always something that can be done about anything. But what is being done? That's the real question. Yeah. What are you doing? It always goes back to you. What are you doing to make a difference? Or to so that that's not seen. Are you putting too much light on it? Or are you putting so much light on it to where on the problem that you don't see the solution, or you don't want to see the solution, or you don't want to use the solution? Because there's many solutions. Even with the racist, the systemic racism, social injustices, with all of those things, we must remember that that you have the ability. And just like you said, when you run for certain things, you're a target automatically right out the gate. You're a target. And how do you combat that? What have people who have done things like that, what have they done? What kind of system have they put in place to where if they do become a target, or they are a target, what do they do to combat that situation, or to make sure they're good? What kind of things are they putting in place to make sure to ensure their safety, the safety of their family, your friends, etc.? Do they have, did they build enough people to surround themselves with to make sure that they can, move and operate how they need to? What solutions have you placed as someone who is a target if you do decide to make a move? Yeah. What have you done? What can you do? Have you read on what other leaders have done, when they've had that situation or that issue? Or is it just better to just say, well, I'm a target? You know what I mean? Like, are you doing something about it? Did you read? Did you study? Did you go to the origins of how to combat that? What have you done? So of course it's there. Whatever is there, and it's there for a reason. It's always there for a reason. It's up to you to figure out what the reason is, and it's up to you to do something about it. If you really want to do something about it, do something about it. Get up and do something.
Do you think we're going to get any better about it? You think we're going to get through it?
It will get better. It will get better.
I hope it does.
It will, for sure. I always have hope and believe that things will get better. There's always this cycle. I know that in the Kabbalion, there's this thing, I don't want to get too deep into it, where, things, they get worse before they get better. But it's all a part of the cycle, of how things go. So people think
back and forth, right?
Right. The pendulum that swings back and forth. So it swings so far to the left, but then it will come right back to the right. Yeah. So and there are people who are able to just remain neutral throughout that process. So the easiest thing, in my opinion, for me, has been to remain neutral, because as the pendulum swings, it's going to swing right back. It's going to swing regardless. But my whole thing is to hold the neutral. And it's like somebody who meditates or prays. Any distraction can throw you off, right? Yeah. But if you're so deep into the meditation, you can't be thrown off. You can't be touched. It don't apply to you. It doesn't apply to you, right? And it's about getting to that place to where this doesn't apply to me. Not saying that it's not happening, but I don't have to worry because I'm in the neutral. And it takes a huge amount of concentration to be able to do that. It takes a lot of self-work, self-help, self-things to make that happen for yourself. And it's so peaceful when you do, because I've experienced that peace before, for sure, to where I'm like, yeah, things are happening, but not to me.
Yeah.
Not to me. I'm watching things happen,
Yeah.
to other people, around me, people close to me. It gets close to me, but it doesn't get to me. It doesn't get in me, So, and I feel like it's a really good way to live life, to be honest. Yeah, it really is.
So do you have a website, Ash?
So no website as of now. I'm primarily operating on my Facebook, which is Ash Kembai. So that's capital ASH space KEMBAI. And I'm the majority of the time I'm on there doing what I do. I feel like for me as of now, it's a lot easier for me to do one platform and then another and then another, not trying to do too much at one time, because that's how frustration happens. I do also have a Instagram, and that Instagram is BRAW_UNCUT. So that's BRAW_uncut. Don't have as much material on my Instagram as I do my Facebook, but that is still a great place, or a great place to refer to certain things, because I made a lot of videos and I put them on both my Facebook and my Instagram. So, but I'm looking forward to getting a website one of these old days. I need to be like Steve Holder. That's what I need. I got to get like you, man. I'm behind. You on top of the game.
I want to be like me.
Yeah, you on top of the game, man. I'm happy. I'm happy you're on top of it. I need to be under your tutelage right now. You're on top
Well, I
of
appreciate that.
it. Yeah, definitely.
So folks, I hope you will check out Ash here, Ash Kembai. Want to make sure I say that right. Mindset coach, mentor, and fitness trainer. And I guess you do that online also, correct? For people that want to be your clients?
Absolutely. I do virtual, and I've been primarily doing in person. I can travel to whomever to do lessons or whatnot. So it depends on what the setup is, for sure. But yeah, absolutely. I am available as of now, for sure. Yeah,
great.
definitely.
Thank you for being my guest, Ash. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I'm forever grateful. You've changed my life already. I appreciate it.
Glad to have you with me. And folks, thanks for tuning in to Holding On with Holder. Please subscribe to my channel and feel free to share this video all over social media. Ash, I will let you go. And thanks again for being my guest.
Thank you. Have a great one.
Thank you too.